What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventure in 1994 here, and it is Saturday, April 30th, 2022, and they have confirmed the playoff matchups for the NHL 2022 playoffs, and the playoffs will be starting on Monday, May 2nd, 2022. And what's surprising is that the NHL hasn't actually finished their season yet. There's still one game to go, which is Seattle and Winnipeg, which is tomorrow. But those teams have not made the playoffs, so they actually confirmed the NHL playoff positions, like all the matchups, and they already came out with the schedule for all the teams here. So what we got here is we have the Hurricanes and Bruins, the Rangers and Penguins. We have the Leafs and the Lightning. We have the Panthers and the Capitals. So if the Rangers and Penguins win this round, they play in the second round either against the Hurricanes or the Bruins. And if the Leafs or the Lightning wins this round, they play either the Panthers or Capitals in the second round. And in the West, we have the Flames and Stars, Oilers and Kings, the Wild and the Blues, and the Avalanche and the Predators. So for this one right here, if either the Flames or the Stars win this first round, they will play either the Oilers or the Kings in the second round. And if the Wild or the Blues win this round, they either play the Avalanche or the Predators in the next round. So yeah, the Hurricanes and Bruins are meeting for the third time in just 3 years. Yeah, they always wind up meeting with each other. And Boston seems to take them out. But we don't know what's going to happen because all these teams are going to be really strong. Almost everyone in the East had like 100 points or over. Something tells me the East is going to be really intense with all these matchups, and I don't know who's going to make it to the finals. It's really... we can't rule anything out until it really happens. But I know these matchups right here are going to be very tough. I hope the Rangers look alive against Pittsburgh this time, because what happened in 2016 was a nightmare. When they took out the Rangers in the first round and they ran all the way to Stanley Cup, destroying everyone they met in the next rounds. And they made it all the way to the Cup, and they just destroyed everyone else they encountered in the playoffs. When the Penguins eliminated the Rangers, they just destroyed everyone else that they matched up with. And for the Panthers and Capitals, it cannot be ruled out who's going to win this one, because the Panthers have been a beast this year. And they won the President's Trophy. And the Capitals have been very slim this season. They're slowly starting to collapse, but they did play fairly strong enough. But the Panthers seem to have a problem make it to the second round of the playoffs. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the Panthers will find a way to get into the second round, or maybe Washington will grab a lot of strength and just take the Panthers out. This one's going to be tricky this time. It's not like the other few times where they met the Islanders twice or met the Lightning one year and they just lost to them. The Panthers seem to be picking up the pace in the playoffs. I mean, the Lightning in the Panthers series was not very easy. I mean, all playoff series are hard. I get that. But the Panthers don't really survive in the playoffs. So we gotta see what happens with this one. I will be keeping an eye especially on the Rangers because they're my team, but I will be keeping an eye on everyone else. Especially in the East. And we'll see what happens from there with everyone in the West. And the Avalanche and the Predators are also meeting for the first time in the first round since 2018. But instead, Colorado gets home ice and the Predators on the road. Unlike 2018, the Predators were a President's Trophy winner and the Avalanche were the underdogs. But this time it's all flipped around because the Avalanche is much stronger than the Predators now. We gotta see what happens with them. I will be keeping an eye on everyone. I can't rule out what's gonna happen, but I know this is gonna be a tough playoff series this year. So I have the schedule for the Rangers. They get home ice on Tuesday in Game 1 against Pittsburgh Penguins. This upcoming Tuesday, May 3rd, they will be playing Game 1 at the Garden against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And all the other games are 2 days apart. All the way until the 15th, which is Game 7. And these three are if necessary. I really hope the Rangers get their act together against Pittsburgh because I did not like what I saw in the 2016 playoffs. It was a living nightmare to be in that series. The Rangers had no idea what the heck they were doing in 2016. And they knew what they were doing in 2015, but they just fell short in 2016. There was a lot going on with them. Yeah, they better look alive if they're gonna destroy Pittsburgh Penguins. They definitely have to look alive. I know Pittsburgh started to fall short for 3 years in the playoffs, but the Rangers better get their act together this time. This is their first meeting since 2016. It's really nerve-wracking to see them play Pittsburgh and meet again after being taken out of the 2016 playoffs. I mean, I will say the same if they face Carolina too, because they got swept out by the Hurricanes in 2020 when the playoffs got expanded to 24 teams. So I'm going to show who didn't make the playoffs and what position they finished in. So, yeah. The Habs finished in last. The Flyers finished last. The Coyotes finished last. And the Kraken finished last. And they have one game to go with Winnipeg. So, this is everyone who missed it. I'm really shocked with Vegas missing it this year because they've been doing so good until they collapsed the last minute this year. Because Dallas started dominating against everyone. They even blew past Nashville, I could see. Yeah, and for the Islanders, I already told you guys that they dealt with a lot of COVID issues and a lot of injuries, and they started in last place. But they looked alive at like last minute, but it wasn't enough for them to make the playoffs, so they're out. And Montreal just looked bad completely. They have 60 overall losses. 49 plus 11 is 60. And for the first time since 2007, the Philadelphia Flyers finished last. And for the Flyers and the Habs, I expect a long-term rebuild for the two teams. I'm not saying it could happen, but it looks likely. There's a lot of teams that are still going to be rebuilding next year. And the Senators were starting to look better, but it's not enough for them to be in. I mean, there is a turning point in Ottawa, in Buffalo, in Detroit, but they still have time ahead of them. I mean, even the Devils and the Blue Jackets are rebuilding, but I think the Islanders might make it next year. And while the Capitals are starting to fall short, I think the Islanders might pass them, man. I can see the Capitals starting to miss the playoffs next year. That's just my opinion. I don't know what's going to happen. And for the first time, the Blackhawks, for the first time in like 15 years, I think, the Capitals never made it to Derry this year with all the wins. They looked really bad than before. I can't remember the last time they didn't reach 30 wins. And Los Angeles is the only Californian team in the playoffs, while San Jose and Anaheim are still facing their drought. So this is what's going on in the playoffs, and I will be keeping an eye on this playoff series, and I guess that's it. Bye.